that is a tribute. That dance, for the benefit of the YouTubers, is a tribute to my man Jaylings and and Steve Bird, who I shut down, and I said that I didn't rate Jaylings, but after last night, I eat my words, and you were right, my man. So that's a tribute to Jaylings. Anyway, back with the pod. Welcome to episode 5 of FPL Happy Hour. I forgot the name of our pod then. In all that excitement of Jaylings. With me, Sham, otherwise known as FPL Two Guys One Cup on Twitter.
And me, Rob, was known as FPL Panda.
Mate, I can't dance, but I thought I'd give it a go. Right? You said, oh, why don't you do a dance? I thought, okay, fine, I'll do it. You know, I'm always up for a laugh, me. So I was more than happy to take the piss out of myself. So yeah, I am very well after last night's escapades of West Ham. I don't know if I asked you how you are because I was too busy thinking about Jaylings. But how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I was delighted last night. Yeah, being a United fan, and I think a lot of United fans out there watched the game last night, especially when yeah, he was in the starting lineup, and yeah, I think we're all delighted that he came out with the performance he did. It was brilliant to see. Yeah, he's had a tough time, and yeah, he seems to be enjoying football. Yeah, be interesting to see what happens going forward it's not Upton Park, at the West Ham ground,
London Stadium.
the London
Yeah, London
Stadium.
Stadium. It all depends, mate. You know, hopefully he carries on the way that he did last night for the rest of the season. His value is going to massively shoot up.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll have the opportunity to buy him if you know if he fits well. I didn't think he would be good simply because not necessarily um, because of his ability, because I didn't really remember him like, you know, he hasn't played for a couple of years, right? So from my memory, I thought he was kind of okay. It was more in terms of whether or not he fits into our system. And I didn't think that he would fit into our system because we were playing quite well with who we had. And that was the main reason why I didn't think that he would necessarily fit in. But, you know, last night proved that I was wrong, and I'm happy to admit it.
And would you
So,
say
yeah.
now that like he starts in that like 10 position and then Bowen
Yeah,
starts out right?
I yeah. So Fredericks, he played. Moyes was a fucking
He
masterclass
turned
last
into
night.
prime
What
Cristiano like towards what was it in the last 10 minutes?
Flash?
Yeah,
Did
he
you
took
see
on
that clip that I
wings.
sent you? Did you see that clip?
He
That clip
turned
that I
into the
sent you?
fucking Flash.
Yeah, he was. Um, like he the I saw the starting lineup and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, are we playing a back five? What's going on? And then Fredericks is obviously playing wing on the wing, and I was like, why are they doing that? And then I realised it was to double up on Grealish,
Hmm.
for Kafal and Fredericks to double up on him, and um, it was a masterstroke,
Yeah, it
absolute
worked.
masterstroke.
Oh, it
You
took
know,
about 20
Kafal,
minutes and Grealish was
yeah,
switched over to the other side
yeah,
just to give
Kafal
it.
had Grealish in his pocket, like
Hmm.
massively. Like he played really well. So I mean, I don't see Fredericks playing on the right consistently.
Hmm.
I think it was just because of that game. So I think going forward, Bowen probably does go on the right. Lingard plays in that 10 and Ben Rama on the left. And Ben Rama and Lingard played really well together. You know, there was loads of link up play between them. Yeah, so I was really, really pleased last night.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited to see when you've got Benrahma, Lingard, Bowen behind Antonio. When you've
yeah,
got that four, I think against the lesser teams in the league, you'll be banging in goals left, right, and centre. Like you just
yeah,
need Benrahma to get his goal really now, just to
yeah, because he
kind
still
of
hasn't scored for us.
yeah start him off. Did he score? Did he score in the cup?
I don't think he did. I don't think he
Um,
scored for us yet, from what I remember.
yeah, good week.
But
So
I could be wrong.
good week for West Ham and average week for United.
Yeah, 9-0, mate.
9-0, unbelievable.
Uh,
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it was always going to go one way when the red card in what was it like 80 seconds. But yeah, United just looked clinical all night, and we hadn't seen that for weeks and weeks. And yeah, Rashford looked like he had something to prove after
Yeah,
everything that went on at the weekend on social media with him. Um, yeah, they looked like they they didn't want to stop trying to score. And you get so many teams out there, they'll go 4-5-0 up in the first half, and that's it. And they kept going. And yeah, the last, what was it, 3 goals came in the last 2 minutes. But yeah, I was really happy with the performance. Hopefully, that stands us in good stead for the weekend. And yeah, against you boys in the cup, which I think is going to be a great game now.
mate,
Although
that is going to
you
be
won't have Lingardinho.
no,
Um, you
no,
won't be allowed to play.
no.
Um,
That's going to be. We're going to try and sort something out to watch that together, aren't we?
yeah, yeah. We
Because
think we might be able to do a Zoom call with having the game in the Zoom call. We obviously can't do a live stream with it on the screen, but we might do a little Zoom call. So keep an eye out on Twitter, and we'll send out some details probably Monday evening or Tuesday morning about that. So yeah, keep an eye out if you want to come and see us go at each other for 90 minutes.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Right, back to FPL, I guess. That was a nice little chit chat, anyway. Um, but back to FPL. How did you get on this week?
um, it was all right. I'm happy in the end. Um, it could have gone horribly wrong. I was sitting there for 24 hours praying uh, there was no pep roulette because yeah, Diaz and Stones. I had them both, and I had Benrack sitting there as my first
That would have
defender.
been fucking
It was
hilarious.
horrible.
Just quickly, I just want to say something. So we've got like a last man standing LMS type thing with fantasy football. Basically, the team that scores the lowest amount of points gets kicked out each week in one of the groups that I'm in, and a guy is about to get knocked out this week because Bednarek's coming in off the bench for Foden, who didn't play. So, and obviously he got -7, but we're all winding up. So he's out, right? We know that he's going to be out, but we're all winding him up, basically saying, "Oh no, you might be okay because the card got rescinded, and you get FPL points back, so he won't get a -7, he'll get a -4, and you'll be safe." And like winding him up in the chat about
Evil,
it.
evil people.
Anyway, go on.
But yeah, and then we had the discussion at the beginning of the week about yeah, is Bruno the captaincy option over Salah? And I think it was like I think Salah edged it, didn't he, overall? But yeah, Bruno's effective ownership was still over 100%, and so his haul and Salah's blank has just killed me. And it was actually my first red arrow for 9 game weeks,
The
which is
streak is over, right?
yeah, the streak is over despite returns for Diaz, Stones, Gundogan, Bamford, Calvert-Lewin, and Watkins, and the haul from Fernandez, and even Martinez got a couple of save points, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's quite rare when a goalkeeper concedes 3 but still comes out with 4 points.
yeah. It's
Um,
not often that happens.
and then yeah, there's the story of um, the potato salad king once again sitting in his on his throne, um, which is
First
my
up.
first sub. Um, yeah, I think I picked the right team to start with, and I think it's just unlucky.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, Barnes didn't haul. It was Madison instead. Um, he could have easily hauled instead of Madison. And then yeah, Liverpool just looked awful last night. They just nothing, nothing up front.
I didn't watch a game because obviously I was watching the West Ham game.
Yeah, well, I had the Liverpool game on the phone. West Ham on the laptop, and then for most of the game, I had the Everton Leeds game as well on the other laptop. So I was watching all three at one point. But yeah, from most of the time, I was concentrating on the West Ham Villa game. But from what I saw of Liverpool, it was just I think Brighton had the better chances. That
Yeah,
says something. So yeah, I think I'm going to be making the tough decision this week to ship out Salah, and if he goes, that's it for the season.
I've just brought him in. I brought him in for Suchek.
This week, yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think if he goes, then I have to commit to him staying out for the season, because then I can use that money um, for. Oh, apparently Harry Kane's back at the weekend, which I'm going to be keeping an eye on.
interesting.
And
What for the West Brom game?
yeah, I think the reports are he's saying that he'll be fit for the weekend, but I doubt he'll start
Right,
against West Brom.
right.
Um, but yeah, and then you've got KDB back in the next couple of weeks, which is really interesting, especially with upcoming fixture announcements. And we've already had some doubles announced today, which has been great.
Yep.
So yeah, not a great week for me really. It's a small red arrow, but it would have been worse if Sun returned tonight. That would have
So
made
what
it.
did you get in the end? 70 something.
It is, yeah, 70 on the dot, and at the
70.
moment, yeah, it's a red to around 235,000, down from
70.
202, which is gutting really. I was hoping to break into that top 200k. How did you get
Yeah.
on?
Well, I scored 70 points, exactly the same as you, mate. It's weird that you get 70 points in and get a red arrow in not in a double game week. You know, that's not
Hmm.
often the case. Um, Martinez, Stones, Robertson, Cancelo. So obviously Robertson clean sheet gone, and got to start thinking about getting rid of him. But I don't really know who to be honest with you. Probably a Chelsea defender, but I think I've got other priorities. I don't really know. Like, so I brought in Salah for Suchek, and now I'm thinking, do I just do the reverse again? Like, bring Suchek back in because West Ham have now got Fulham and Sheffield United,
You're
two
not
good games.
you're not thinking, what was it?
Lingard.
Take the gamble. I think he's like 0.6% owned.
Wait, he's now 1.5 actually.
Oh, he's doubled his ownership overnight. Wow.
Yeah, he's 1.5 now. Um, I don't know. I'd want to see him for I think Suchek is, we'll get to it later on. I was looking at his stats earlier. He had some really good stats last night. He's not you know, he's not a bencher. You don't want to be benching him. But then look at the rest of my side. You got Bamford, Antonio, Calvert-Lewin up top, and then obviously Salah, Grealish, Barnes, and Fernandez. It's really difficult, and I had to bench Gundogan this week.
Hmm.
You know, like it was a I was flip flopping all day between Antonio Bamford, Calvert Lewin, Antonio Bamford, Calvert Lewin. Which one of them has to go on the bench? Because I wanted to start Barnes away to Fulham. Didn't want to bench Fernandez, Grealish, or Salah, and then I just went with Gundogan in the end because I thought there's a possibility that he could be like not starting. And I knew Bamford, Antonio, Calvert Lewin were, and they all had good fixtures, or decent enough fixtures where they could score. So yeah, I'm just really stuck now in terms of what to do next.
Hmm.
Like I really don't know in terms of options. Do I just like this week coming is like looking like a bit of a car crash in terms of obviously with Liverpool playing City, and currently I've got I think Stones and Gundogan benched, and yeah, I don't really know what to do, but yeah, that's how I did. Anyway, right, what we're talking about next. So on to our hot topics, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the first one was chip strategy. So we've heard some announcements today of some double game weeks that are going to be announced, and you wanted to talk a little bit about chip strategy. and what people can
Yeah,
do?
well,
Can you let us know?
we had Lauren or at Livergirl on Twitter mention about chip strategy at lunchtime today, and then we had the absolute bombshell dropped of the double game week fixtures this afternoon, which has I thought let's get it in now while those double game week fixtures are in the mind, but also remembering that there's still a lot of doubles and blanks to be announced in 26, 29, which we'll know by this time next week. We'll know who blanks in 29, and we'll know the general outline of what the doubles should be in 26. So yeah, we had the fixture announcements today with Burnley and Fulham announced for in a fortnight's time as part of game week 24, and then Everton Man City also part of 24, and then Leeds Southampton as part of game week 25. On paper, I've just brought the FDRs up, and it's actually a favourable 24 for Burnley, which actually has made me second think my transfer this week. At first, it was going to be Bednarek, then the red card got rescinded, so I was like, okay, then let's get rid of Loughton. And actually, Palace away and Fulham at home, I think I'm keeping Loughton just for that double. So it's made me rethink my transfer strategy moving forward. But chips. We'll first of all probably go with the people that have already used the free hit, still got a wild card in the bank, got the triple captain in the bank. I'm probably not going to touch on the triple captain. I can't see any fixtures that really scream at me to go, yeah, I want to triple captain a player. There's nothing out there that that like really says it. Like you wouldn't triple captain a City player against Spurs and Everton, would you? Unless it
Yeah,
was KDB, which is not going to be KDB. Um, and you know that City are going to have a better double than that down the line. I've got no doubt that my triple captain is going to be on a City player. It could be Fernandez at some point, but I'm 99% sure it'll be on a City player, and I want it to be Kevin De Bruyne. But so, yeah, without the free hit available, so if you've used it already, I'd be looking at starting to build a team into game week 24, 25, and then a double in 26. We know that City will probably double in 26 as well. Southampton will double in 26 as well. I think there's a possibility Southampton could double in 25, 26, and 27,
wow.
which makes like the likes of Danny Ings, Che Adams, huge options. And that's another reason I'm not getting rid of Ben Rack, despite his
Yeah,
-7. If you're getting 6 games in 3 game weeks, it's a no-brainer. And I'm my honest thinking at the moment is Watkins to Ings, getting there early with him, because he's guaranteed to start. And you six games, you're guaranteed like at least 3 or 4 returns from him, really, like assists and goals, or you'd expect that. So we build towards 26. Get yourself 11 double game week players. If you've got the bench boost, then you might want to build a little bit more and get yourself onto 14 or 15 double game week players, so you can bench
are there
boost
any
in
good single
26.
game weekers? Well, actually, there's no point talking about that because we don't know what the single game weeks are for
In
26.
20 in 24, You've got United against West Brom, so you'd hold your Brunos and that. I mean, you're not going to be selling Bruno anyway. It's because you're just
Yeah.
going to want him back. When's that? Around game week 28, 29.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're not selling him. Yeah, 26. I mean, you're going to have like United v Chelsea and someone else maybe. It depends on it all depends on the cup next week. And yeah, there's a few teams that we're pretty much guaranteed that will double. It just hasn't been announced yet. Just like the backlog of fixtures, like Spurs, I think are guaranteed. City, Southampton, Leeds maybe, um, Villa. Um, all these teams that I think are pretty much guaranteed the double in 26. Um, so where was I? Yeah, building for that bench boost in at 26 if you've got the bench boost. If not, yeah, still building towards 11 double game weekers. I if you've got the free hit, you can then carry on as normal, and then free hit 29 for the blank game week. If you haven't got the free hit, you've then got to come away from that double game week and start working towards getting 11 out for 29, which I think there's still potential for 8 blanks in 29, which could be an absolute horror show.
Yeah, that'd be a fucking nightmare.
But then if there's only 2 games in 29, I'm happy with 5 players, like
Yeah.
4 or 5 players that are playing. So we'll know that, as I said, this time next week. But then, yeah, those that are not free hitting 29, you'll be wildcarding in 30, like no matter what. And that's my plan. My plan build into the double game weeks in 26, the big double game week in 26, then move on from that into 29, and then from there, wild card from 30.
I think I'm in a very similar situation to you in terms of my thinking. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, I think.
Yeah,
Unless anything changes, I think I'll be
I
doing
mean
that.
the fixtures at the moment in 29 are guaranteed. Or there's one fixture which is Fulham Leeds, so I think this could be the time, especially with the double in a couple of weeks' time. Could be a time to start looking at piling up on Leeds, and that's why I'm probably going to keep Bamford now, and he'll probably be in my team until game week 30. Well, he will
Yeah.
be in my team unless he gets injured. So yeah, people like Dallas, Meslier, if you want to look at bringing in a keeper if you're happy about everything else, then Meslier is probably a good option. He picks up save points. Um, Jack Harrison's another one, and then Rafinha. Obviously, I think a lot of
Who I
people,
shipped out.
yeah, a lot of people, I think by double game week 25 will have Dallas, Rafinha, Bamford.
Rafinha is only like 1.5% owned.
Yeah, he's. I think
Like,
it's one of those Twitter ones. Like you see
yeah,
everyone on Twitter with him, but
yeah.
you forget that there's 8 million people playing the game, and there's just a small little pocket of that on Twitter. So yeah, I think he's one of those
What are you
Twitter
doing with Barnes? Are you
Barnes.
keeping Harvey Barnes?
I think I'm gonna.
Next four are Wolves, Liverpool, Villa, Arsenal. Then after that, they've got a nice little run.
Hmm,
Birmingham, Sheffield United, Burnley,
yeah, I'm.
27 to 29.
But then Vardy
So
will
then,
probably be back.
yeah,
Um, so I'm probably keeping Barnes this week, but then I'll get rid for those Liverpool, Villa, Arsenal, and then I'll just relook at Leicester again. If
yeah.
Vardy looks like he's back and fit, then that could be the way to go. Yeah, I think with Liverpool's form at the moment, As I said before, like I'm not looking at bringing Salah or Mane back in until they show that they're worth that money to pay for them, which they're definitely not at the moment. So yeah, I think I know that there's that money there to spend, and I'm happy to wait on Vardy. If I get rid of Barnes, I don't think I'd double up on Leicester attackers yet. But yeah, that after they play Arsenal, Brighton, Sheffield United, Burnley, those 3 games are tasty. But then they play City, and then they've got another 3 or 4 or 5 games where there's decent potential there. But then their running's horrendous. Like United, Chelsea, Spurs. I think we mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. It's not a nice running. Um, so yeah, what else is there to cover with? I mean, what are you looking at with your chip strategy? Going with the wildcard 30 and then
I think that's yeah. Some people would be thinking about wildcard in 25, wouldn't they?
yeah, I think people that have the
Into
free hit,
into
people that have the free hit will wildcard 25 to then bench boost 26, and then they'll free hit 29.
free hit. Yeah,
But if you haven't got the free hit, then you need that wild card for 30. Otherwise, you're gonna, especially if you want to try and attack 29, like take advantage of those blanks and hope that lots of other people have only got a handful of players. Because I think because there's still a lot of people out there with that free hit, I think you kind of need to attack the 29 fixture. But yeah, I think by this time next week we'll have that outline to really be able to go, right, this is how I'm going to play it, and you'd probably look at. I think everyone could be quite comfortable now with trying to plan ahead. It looks like the whole COVID thing with football is sort of disappearing a bit. That kind of onslaught there was in January. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, it's touch wood. We won't get those massive postponements again this season, and then it kind of allows us to really plan how we want to make our moves leading into that game week 29, which I think for a lot of people could be that's the make or break week, isn't it? Really, um, for for your season, really, it's quite hard to come back from like the depths of nowhere to a respectful finish if you bugger it up.
yeah, yeah. Pretty much. Oh, is that it?
Yep, that's about all I've got to say about that.
Fair enough.
It's tricky at the
Right.
moment without the like. I got really excited about chatting about it with the doubles announced today, but it just doesn't really change much. Like when you look at the fixtures that were being announced, like they're not fixtures that you really want to go and really attack with.
Hmm.
Um, but then if you look forward to looking at the possibilities of what could happen after that, like with Southampton possibly going 3 doubles in a row, Leeds with plenty of doubles in there as well. But it's just conjecture, really, isn't it? You don't know that it's going to definitely happen. So I wouldn't want to start saying do this until you see what the map is um, moving into the next 6 or 7 game weeks.
Okie dokie. Well, I guess next week's pod will probably cover it a little bit more in detail again once we know what's happening in 26, and I guess we'll focus it more on the 26 doubles, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're hope. I think I still don't think we'll have what the doubles will be in 26, because there's some games that will be like a bit up in the air,
Yeah,
with teams that have more than one postponed fixture to fit in, because they could pick one fixture or another fixture.
yeah,
So it might not necessarily be a game that's been postponed from 29 moved into 26. It could be another game that's yet to be decided. But they've
yeah,
got rid of 3 of those games today, so yeah, hopefully we'll know the blank for 29, which is good.
yeah. Okay, so let's move over to our next topic, and going to keep it quite brief because it's not too much to discuss here. It was more about, a lot of people are asking about West Ham at the moment, after the way that we played last night. I think Steve asked a question, is it time to start talking about West Ham assets? And I think, to be honest, we've been talking about West Ham assets all season, really, with the likes of Souček and Kafal, especially Sufal, Antonio. But now I think people are starting to really take Souček a lot more seriously. I think people before were always of the mindset of you can't really bench Antonio because he can score in any game, etc. But actually, Souček is very, very similar in terms of his output.
I mean, what surprised me with his goal yesterday, it was like an overlapping run into the box.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he showed that determination to get there and be that man, for the layoff, and it was a great finish as well.
And if you
Surprised.
just compare some figures last night, so I'm just going to give you some comparisons between Antonio and Souček just from last night's game, just to give you an idea. Bearing in mind we played slightly differently in last night with Lingard in that 10. So we've got Antonio had one big chance, Souček had 0 shots in the box. Souček had 4, Antonio had 3. Shots in total, Antonio had 5, Souček had 4. Shots on target, Antonio had 2, and Souček had 2. Very similar,
Hmm.
you know. And Lingard had very similar as well. So a lot of people are kind of saying about benching Souček, like similar to benching Souček, but actually I think he's producing the stats as good as the likes of Antonio. And okay, fine, it was one game, but even when you look back in previous games, he's such a threat from corners, and that's where we're playing our best at the moment.
Hmm.
So I think the question then becomes is, okay, fine, so you have Antonio. If you haven't got Souček, do you get Souček? If you've got Souček, do you play Souček? And then I guess the next question is, do you get anyone else on top? And where do you go? Fixtures wise, we've got Fulham and Sheffield United next to, which are 2 really good fixtures. But you then follow that up with Tottenham, Man City, Leeds, which is a good fixture, and Man United. So from 25 to 28, we've got Tottenham, City, and United, like 3 tough games. Even though I know Tottenham are not playing well at the moment, that's still a very tough game. Bearing in mind, you also add on to it doesn't look like that we'll have a double. I don't think we'll get a double. And we're likely to play, and we are playing Man City in 26. So do you really want to buy is the other thing, or do you buy for the next 2 and then just sell afterwards?
Hmm.
That is a possibility. And I'm thinking, we've got Fulham and Sheffield United. I just took out Souček. Do I want to take out Salah and bring in Souček, or take out Barnes and bring in Souček just for those 2 games, or potentially my man Jay Ling? you know.
Hmm.
1.5% owned, very similar stats to Suchet last night. Although he wasn't shooting in the box as much, um, you know, it's really difficult. Really, really difficult. One thing I will say is I know a lot of people have got the likes of Sufal or Cresswell or Ogbonna defensive wise. I think definitely over the next two they're worth playing. But it's a really difficult situation as to whether or not you can buy ahead of Man City, Man U, and Tottenham in
Hmm.
2 game weeks' time. I don't know what you think, Rob.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I think if you've got West Ham players, you hold and play them. Um, I mean, a lot of people have got Souček. A lot have got a defender, whether it be Sufal or Cresswell. Um, and a lot have got Antonio. And if you've got any of those four, then yeah, you obviously keep them. Yeah, but like you, I mean, that was one thing that, coupled with the Southampton double announcement, um, I was originally going to go Watkins to Antonio, and yeah, now I looked at sort of the fixtures moving forward, and I think in the long run I'm making the better move by going Watkins to wings. I might change my mind at some point tomorrow, but yeah, that's my thinking at the moment. But I'll obviously, yeah, I'll play Souček, and I'll be playing Sufal for the next two, and I'll probably keep them both, but bench them for Spurs and City, and then play it. Then you've got Leeds at home, which could be
Yeah,
an absolute goal fest, couldn't it?
yeah,
For your lot, not
yeah.
because I think you'll defend better than what other teams have recently against Leeds. Um,
And
and
then
then
even after Man U in 28,
you've got
so if we
Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester.
yeah,
It's not disastrous.
well, I wouldn't say that that is uh good for attackers though, would you?
No.
Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester, three decent defensive sides
Hmm.
on paper. I know we battered Wolves 4-0 and we beat Leicester 3-0, but this in generally they're good defensive sides, right?
Hmm.
It's the last five fixtures of the season. Like when we get to it, I know it's a long way off. They are beautiful. Like
Yeah.
we got Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, Southampton.
Champions League.
You're having a laugh. Champions League. You're having a laugh. Like honestly, if we go to, I know this is a bit of a sidetrack, but if we can get to game week 33 and we're seventh or sixth, and maybe 3 to 6 points, right, off top four, maybe 3 points off top four,
You're in with a
we could
shout.
finish in the top four. Like we could quite possibly win the last 5 games of the season. That is a great fixture run because
Hmm.
if we can get through the likes of Tottenham, City, Man U, Arsenal, Leicester, Chelsea, and still be sixth or seventh, I'll be very delighted.
Hmm.
I mean, even if you finish top 8, I'll be happy to be honest. Like because generally in this position now, I think we need to be pushing for Europe, and I would be disappointed if we didn't get Europe based on the position that we are at now.
Hmm.
Um, because I think if you're in that position, you've got to kind of try and take advantage. But I wouldn't be angry and pissed off and think we've had a shit season if we finish 8th or 10th or whatever. We've had a great season and we're playing really well. So either way, I'm happy. I'd just be a bit disappointed that we didn't try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
I've just had a quick look, and like that, the game week 29 fixture is West Ham v Arsenal. Now, when United beat West Ham next Tuesday,
I wouldn't be so sure now, mate. I know
um,
Lingardinho's not
that
playing.
game, but that
I know
game
he's not
is
playing.
that game will definitely be on,
Yeah,
because Arsenal obviously out. So yeah, it's they're they're obviously one of the teams that if you've got two and you held them all that way, then you've got two players for your 11 already.
Yeah.
Plus, then you've got your lead. Is it Leeds? Is it Leeds that are guaranteed? Yeah, Leeds, 3 leads. That's 5.
Yeah.
You probably bring in a third West Ham, 6. You got half your team there. So yeah, I'd be holding on to your 2 West Ham. If you feel confident, if you haven't got, and I think if you haven't got Antonio and want to triple up, you bring him in. If you haven't got a defender yet, I don't think you bring in a defender yet. I think there's other games to attack that then have got the continuation that you can use that defender moving forward. And then I think once you've got to 29, then you can bring in one of the defenders and hope that they're still cheap.
Yeah.
Because they've all risen in price, haven't they? Especially in the last few weeks.
I have indeed. Right. I think that's enough on West Ham. Was it 5v5 next, mate?
Yeah. Do you know what the score is? I hope you do.
Roughly. I know you won. So, so you had Guaita, Diaz, Bruno, Son, Firmino, correct?
Yeah, 30 points. I'll make it.
30. And I had Mendy, Bellerin, Sterling, Salah, Bamford, which was
Not 30 points.
not 30 points. 30. Oh, just close actually. Not bad. What? 10, 8, 23, 24,
20,
something like that.
but you lost.
I did lose. So we're 2-2 now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're 2-2.
Right.
Let's bring the fixtures up so people can see.
So for those that are first-time listeners, I'm going to pick 5 players, and Rob's planner, his transfer algorithm planner, is going to pick 5 players, and it's a draft-style pick, and we'll pick one at a time.
And maybe whilst we're doing this, if people want to pop their questions in, then when we discuss game week 23, we can
ask any questions.
Yeah, we
Answer
can
any
go through
questions.
the questions whilst we're doing
Is
that.
anyone still watching?
Yeah, there's a few people out there. We haven't all gone to bed yet.
Nice. Right. Okay. Let me do the coin toss. All right. Here we go. You going tails? Yeah.
Heads.
Or you
Because
going heads?
tails
You
did
going heads?
fail. Yeah.
Tails or heads?
Heads.
Oh, you lucky bastard. Heads. It's heads.
It's heads. Oh. Right, Son.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with Bruno. I'm assuming that was your next pick.
Yes, it was. Cool. Che Adams.
Ooh. Right, I'm just writing this down. Sorry. Ugon Adams. Who was Southampton playing? Oh, Newcastle. Right. I'm going to go with Antonio. Antonio. I nearly picked Lingard, I'm not going to lie.
Sufal.
Okay. Shit.
Remember, guys, get those questions in.
I'm going to struggle here. All right. How long have I got?
Well, someone's going to tell you you're boring. So
Oh fuck. Okay, I'm gonna go because what's Antonio's ownership? Oh, it's 20.7, so he doesn't count as under 20, does it?
no.
Oh, fuck a duck. I'm screwed here. All right, I'm gonna. Oh, I can't use it because of midfielders. Fuck, I've used up all my midfielders. Right, I'm gonna go Mendy. I'm fucked here.
Right, what have we got? Oh God. Oh, it's going to be horrific. Salah
Oh, mate, that's not a bad pick.
against City.
That's not
They
bad.
might
It's
turn
not
up.
terrible.
Hope they
It's not
turn up, to be
terrible.
fair. They're out of the title race. Could do with someone taking some points off City.
It's not a terrible pick. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, I don't know if he starts, but I'm gonna risk it with. No, I can't because I was about to say Cavani, but I can't. Oh, shit. This is hard, man. This week's really hard. All right, let's just go Vinicius.
Ooh, that's an out there pick.
Well, mate, it's the first thing that I could think of within my percentage limits.
Oh, I've just realised what I've done. Fuck. I kicked off. Oh, you bastard.
What?
I was like, oh, I can get my first choice keeper, and then I realised that I've already got Son, so I can't have Lloris. Who was second? Fabianski. Oh no, I've got Sufal. Shit. Oh. Who is my third choice? Well, I'll be able to find out. Come on. Load up.
Oh,
Oh,
so there's a
Pope.
um
Nick Pope.
Nick Pope. Okay, I'm just gonna just for the benefit of Stephen G in the chat. So, Steve, we do a 5v5 every week. Basically, Rob has got a transfer algorithm planner that chooses players, and I'm going to choose players against him. We have to have one player under 20% owned, one player under 10% owned, one player under 5% owned. It has to be one goalkeeper, one defender, two midfielders, and one attacker. And you can only choose one from each team, basically. And so we need to work quickly and try and work out who we can get. And we've only got like 1 minute per pick. Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah, normally we do it. Obviously, we normally record the pod and we can cut out big pauses and stuff, but because it's live, we can't.
Yeah. Right. So you've got your 5. I need to pick my last 5. My last one is a defender. I've used Man U. I've used West Ham. I've used Chelsea. I've used Tottenham. So it will have to be. I'm gonna go with Matty Cash.
He was
I'm gonna get better this week
he
because I
was
didn't prepare
actually
enough.
third or fourth, I think, on my defenders list. Matty Cash was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I had low. I think. Yeah, it was a lot of West Ham and a lot of Villa. Mainly because Arsenal attacking have been awful, and Fulham attacking have been awful. So yeah, that's how it's been.
It's it's gonna be a. I don't know why I went Vinicius. I just couldn't think of it. Who else is in your forwards, kind of predicted wise, to do well this week on your list?
So yeah, we've got Son. Oh no, Son's not a forward.
Adams was first, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's actually top of the list. So
Yeah,
let's just widen the range a bit because I have it tightened to only allowing forwards that are played 75% of the minutes. So I've just made it 50%. So
yeah.
Ings is top, then Adams, then Wilson, then Werner. But I
They're all
suppose
high percent owned, aren't they? I couldn't use any of them.
apart from Werner,
Werner's less. What is?
I think
Yeah,
he's
I
dropped
suppose
now.
Ings I could have gone with.
Lacazette's number 5 there. Bamford.
I could have
Um,
gone Ings.
yeah, I mean
Um,
a lot
so
of
your team is Pope, Safal, Son, Salah, Adams, and I've got Mendy, Cash, Bruno. Oh fuck! What have I done here? I've made a mistake. I picked 2 forwards
Mendy, Cash, Bruno. Who did
and
you pick?
Antonio. I've made a mistake here. I need to swap. I need to swap Vinicius out. I put Antonio as a forward, as a midfield, as a forward, and oh yeah, I made a mistake there.
That
So
was
I need to
last
swap
season.
out. Yeah, yeah, because Antonio was first, so I need to pick a
Well,
midfielder.
whilst you're deliberating that, we've got a question from David. Does tonight's performance from Spurs change your attitude on captaining Son versus West Brom?
Well, I wasn't gonna bring him in. I was thinking about bringing him in, but I'm definitely not bringing him in now. You're still thinking about it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. I might still bring him in, but captain Bruno. Um,
I'm choosing Rafinha, by the way.
cool. Yeah, I might still bring in Son, and then I think his form is going to be all down to whether Kane comes back. I
Yeah.
think Spurs are so set in the way that they play that they need Kane in there because the team's built around him, isn't it? And Mourinho's not been shy about saying that the team is built around him. But yeah, would I want to keep Salah in against City? And then I definitely wouldn't captain him. So if I think I might just take the gamble and bring in Son. There's not anyone else I'd really want to bring in this week.
What about Jay Links?
Bringing Jay Lings from a West Ham triple up, especially when we've just said if you've got
Don't buy.
if you've got 2, then be happy and don't get a third yet. I could do Salah to Rafinha, but that just seems like I've got too much money sitting there not doing anything when,
Yeah.
especially when Son has got that fixture against West Brom, because Spurs could play like they have the last couple of games and it be like 1-0, 0-0, or something, or they could suddenly just turn up and Son gets a hat trick and they win 5-0.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on the right side of history, I think, if it went that way.
David says he has him, and it's either going to be him or Bruno. Stephen G says I'm bringing Son in, but going to captain
Yeah,
Bruno.
I think
Um,
I think I'm going to do that. Bring Son in, but I'll captain Bruno. I don't think I'll captain Son.
FPL Glasto says I have 2 free transfers in triple Man City defense. Was going to change them, but Liverpool look knackered. I personally would not be taking out triple Man City defense. I am genuinely thinking, not for this game week, but I'm thinking about bringing in another City defender so that I can take out Gundogan and swap him maybe back for Souček or someone else. Because the defenders are doing as well as the attackers, because the way that City are playing at the moment, they're playing so well defensively. The only worry that obviously you've got to have is rotation, right? Because you could easily have, I think if you're preparing for a bench boost, probably not the wisest thing to have three Man City defenders. But otherwise, if you've got a decent bench, which most people do at the moment, then I can't see anything wrong with triple Man City defense. Maybe even against Liverpool. Even against Liverpool, I maybe probably wouldn't play all three, but bringing them in, I can't see
I
why not.
think
Like I was thinking, should I take a -4 for Robertson, taking him out, bringing in Diaz because I've got Cancelo and Stones, and taking out Gundogan for Souček potentially. I was thinking just because I hated the fact that I didn't have him as a West Ham fan, or Rafinha, getting ready for the Leeds double. So that's what I was thinking. And I would have just benched one, but I don't think it's worth the -4. So if I do, I'll probably do it next week.
just been called out by David. Didn't you just the last stream advocate against three defenders from City?
Who said that? I didn't say that, did I?
I went against it because it made it harder to get back to De Bruyne.
Ah, yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think you've got triple
me
City.
personally, I don't think there's a problem with having triple City
Yeah,
defense.
I
Me
think
personally.
if you're at triple City defense currently, stick with it. I wouldn't come off triple City defense, especially with that fixture. I think Liverpool run out of ideas at the moment. Now it could all change on Sunday, and Mane will be back, and um, they find their mojo. But at the moment, everyone, like no one can score against this City side, like
Yeah.
let alone create chances. So you know, but if I had two City and a midfield, two defenders and a midfielder, I'd hold on that because I want that easy route back to KDB.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't want to have to panic and take a hit to bring KDB back in because the moment you know he's fit, he's going to be back in the starting lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, I have exactly the same. I've got Gundogan and two defenders, but there's so many good midfielders at the moment, like value-wise around Gundogan. Like you've got Rafinha, you've got Souček, and then you've got the doubles coming up as well. So where it's worth, where there's value in something, i.e. the defenders, is it worth getting triple defense and then you can get a Rafinha, for example, because I don't think there's many good, like great defender options in the league at the moment other than City. So yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean,
I,
this week there's especially for like your less premium defenders. There's plenty of fixtures out there. Like Burnley have got Brighton at home. Like for your Loutons, if Charlie Taylor's back, or him, then you've got Chelsea against Sheffield United. If you've gone with a Chelsea defender, you're going to start them. Leeds against Palace, you're going to have Dallas. You're going to want to start Dallas. West Ham against Fulham. If you've got Soufal, Cresswell, Ogbonna, whoever, you're going to want to start them.
would you start them
I
ahead
think.
of the City defense?
I mean, I'm sitting in a position where I've got currently. Who have I got? I've got Soufal, so I want to start him against Fulham. I've got Bednarek, who I want to start against Newcastle. I've got Loughton, who I want to start against Brighton.
Yeah, that game could
And then I've
easily
got
be
Diaz and
0-0 though.
Stones. Which game?
City and
Oh yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah, it easily could be.
To me, that's got like 0-0. I know Liverpool are looking shit, right? But Man City aren't looking like amazing attacking, right? Like amazing, amazing. Like I could easily see that being a 0-0.
I really hope it is, as a United fan. Anything that
Yeah.
involves City dropping points, I want. But yeah,
David's asking bench one of the City defenders or DCL.
one of the three City defenders.
Yeah. Do you think against Man U?
I think anyone can score against United.
Yeah.
Like people that are, I mean, with United, like the defenders, I wouldn't be bringing in a United defender for defensive returns because they just there's times where they just look shocking. Like, well, even the other night, like there was the, the arm of Che Adams, which was offside, and he scored, and there was some awful defending there for that, and then he had like the ball came across to him, he had virtually a one-on-one with De Gea, which he blazed over, and there's two huge chances, and if they fell to well, if the second one fell to Danny Ings, he puts that away.
Mm.
And so I think like the United defenders came out the other night with 5 points more than, or 4 points more than they should have, really. Um, yeah, if I wanted a United defender, I'd be going for Luke Shaw at the moment because he looks by far the most dangerous. Like, yeah, AWB got his
You know,
goal, but
he doesn't really get many assists though. I know he got two against Southampton, but generally he doesn't get many attacking returns. I think it was only one assist before
so
this
before the
game.
other night, um, he was the leading like chance creator for like the last 5 weeks.
Right.
Um, was it five
So
weeks
it
or
was
ten
coming.
weeks? Like he'd created like 13 chances or 14 chances, and then yeah, he was a haul was coming at some point. Um,
Sorry, David's asking, should we bench Salah?
shall we? Yes, no,
No,
I'm
no.
selling him. I'm getting rid.
Yeah, I think if you get to a point where you're going to bench him, you might as well sell him.
Yeah, like it's it's too much money to be sitting on your bench, and then you're going to be confident bringing him back. Like if he blanks again against City, so he's on the bench and then he blanks again. Why would you then bring him
Keep
in?
him.
Yeah, why would you bring him in afterwards? Um, yeah, they've got Leicester, then they got Everton. They're tricky games. You're keeping him to potentially then blank and have a 3 game weeks, and then he's got Sheffield United.
Have they got a potential double in 26?
Well, they're out of the FA Cup, so if Chelsea beat Barnsley, then they will double in 26 against. Uh,
Sheffield United and Chelsea.
yeah,
Okay.
um, which is, I mean, is that captainable Salah territory?
No.
Not when
David's like, might as well get Jailings.
not when you've got.
Mate, and David saying stupid transfer. Why did I take a hit for him, mate? I didn't take a hit for him, but I did bring him in. So I'm in exactly the same situation you see. David took a hit to bring in Salah, but I took out Suchek for Salah, and I'm regretting it. Not even for the fact that Suchek scored 9 points. I'm just regretting it. I'm thinking of doing an insta change back. Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd have Salah with Sheffield United v Chelsea. If Chelsea beat Barnsley, you could have Bruno against Chelsea and Palace. Um, if United beat West Ham, you could have a City asset against or West Ham and Wolves,
Yeah.
which I'd I'd probably captain. I'd happily captain Stones or Diaz again. Like to be honest, yeah, I wouldn't be holding on to Salah for double game week 26 because you just know that between now and then you're getting 6 points out of him.
Probably. Anything else that that's quite important to discuss for this week's upcoming games?
Let's have a quick look. Don't think so.
Players that people should be thinking about bringing in.
Well, we've spoken about Chelsea defenders before. It could be worth starting to have a look if you want to dive in there. That was somewhere I was looking at. But then I'm kind of looking at the doubles at the moment, and the people that have got my attention are the Leeds assets more than anything, because I know that they've got the doubles coming up. Leeds and Southampton, like being like Danny Ings, Che Adams, whichever one you want. If you've got the money there, then Danny Ings. But everyone's got the money there. If they haven't, then sell Salah. Like I'd take a hit to take Salah out and bring in Ings. Like at the moment, especially against Newcastle. No, yeah, Southampton point to prove.
I think that'll be a high-scoring game, personally.
What, Southampton Newcastle?
Yeah, I think Newcastle will score.
I think they'll score, but I think Southampton will score more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So my ones to watch at the moment are Chelsea defenders, Leeds, like Rafinha, Dallas, Bamford, Harrison is another one that's up there. Like he's been involved a lot recently. And then Southampton, yes, with Southampton, Ings, Adams. Probably not anyone else. Like you had Ward-Prowse and Armstrong are those players that are like they seem to turn up every now and again, haul, and then disappear for the rest of the season. So yeah, you wouldn't really touch them. But yeah, I think that's about it on that.
So captaincy this week for you, Son, probably.
No, I'll probably go. I'll probably go Bruno.
Okay, I'm probably going Bruno as well. Although I might take a punt on Antonio. I'm not sure yet.
I think it's worth taking a punt on, isn't he? Like I mean, I've got 2 free transfers in the bank, so if I did do, let's bring up my team. If I did do Watkins to Ings and Salah to Son, I'd have the choice of Fernandes versus Everton, Son versus West Brom, or Ings versus Newcastle, and then I've got Bamford versus Palace, which he could easily haul again. It'll probably be the hardest captaincy decision I've had for a while. Because I think Fernandes will be the highest captaincy, but I think it's a huge opportunity for differential.
Right, I think we should give it a wrap there, no?
Yeah, I think so. Unless anyone's got any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, mate. Right, thanks for everyone in the live chat. I know it was kind of a last-minute live show, but thank you all for coming in and joining us. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and like our channel. And for those on podcast, please, what is it that they do on podcasts? Is it subscribe and like it, or I'm not really sure what you do on podcasts. That automatically download it. But yes, please let everyone know about our pod, and we really appreciate your support. Until next week, have a great game week, and may your arrows be green.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Good luck.
Cheers. Bye.